Huh. Another brutal crime scene with no leads. Just put it in the list with the others. Damn. We really need to catch this guy. Whoa, hey, what the hell's going on over there? What the? Over there too. I can't deal with this. I need to find another job. Condemned Criminal Origins is a game where in order to get good FPS, you have to disable all of your HID drivers. Holy frames, what the fuck? Alright, all I had to do was disable a bunch of HID compliant devices. Now my game actually runs good. So, you know, simple, easy fix. Found it on my own. Definitely have to Google for like 16 minutes. A game where the main protagonist sounds like Brian Griffin.
Yes, I remember you a long time ago, but why are you here now?
And has the high kick of Chun-Li. Yo, that high kick, holy shit. Yo. A game where the NPCs are possessed by demons.
Hello.
Whoa, what the fuck? Was I tripping right there, or was her neck being really, really weird? No, what the fuck? And where people ragdoll during cutscenes.
Be ready for death, Agent Thomas.
All I can say about this game is that I was very flabbergasted after my initial playthrough. I came into this game knowing that it has a history of high praise, which honestly probably ruined my experience more than it should have, because I'm very rough when I critique games, and when I come into an experience that's called a masterpiece, I'm expecting to leave that experience with my jaw dropped. And I sort of did, but not for the reasons you would expect. Before we get into the nitty gritty, let me start off with what Condemned Criminal Origins is, and talk about the positives of my playthrough. Condemned is about the story of a Fed, Ethan Thomas, pursuing a killer who he thinks is the matchmaker, and things quickly take a downhill spiral for our main protagonist, Brian Griffin. That's stupid. The game takes place in Metro City. I know, it's a very thoughtful name, where the city has had a sudden spike in crime and drug abuse. As we're investigating the last victim of the matchmaker, gathering evidence with our incredibly powerful, almost sci-fi-like gadgets, we find that the killer is still near. We go and hunt him down, but are attacked by a bunch of junkies who hide and try to ambush us while tearing up the environment to use his weapons. Holy shit, that's so loud. After turning the power back on, Ethan's ambushed again by the matchmaker. I just got fucked up. I don't know how we got away from the two other police officers. I guess the junkies ambushed them, but you know. Then he spills some dialogue explaining how we're on the same path and death will come again, blah blah blah, some random bullshit. And then he, John Wick, kills the other two police officers who have the most glorious death animations I've ever seen in a video game before. This caused Ethan to get blamed for the murders because the matchmaker used my gun. I don't know how the fucking police didn't just get the fingerprints off of the gun and found out that it was Leland, the killer who we're after. But I don't know, it's for the plot, I guess. And for the rest of the game, we're following in his tracks, hunting him down in order to clear Ethan's name of the murders. Now, onto the gameplay and atmosphere. I really like the gameplay and look at the game for the most part, until it got very repetitive. When I saw some screenshots of this game, at first I thought it was made by the creators of Cry of Fear, but rather this game was actually created by the people behind Fear. The gameplay at first might seem like a shooter due to the opening sequence, but the game actually has a heavy focus on melee combat. And the combat feels good. It feels heavy. When you swing, it feels like you're swinging. And when your weapon makes contact with the side of a junkie's head, you feel that impact. Damn, holy fuck. The movement is slow and methodical, and you have a parry. It's simple. Almost every enemy has about the same moveset. They just attack at different speeds and intervals. So the game is simple and easy to grasp. Or at least that's what I thought. Because the parrying makes no fucking sense. So tell me those aren't blocks. But I'll get to that later. The guns in this game force you to use what you're given. When you pick up a pistol, shotgun, SMG, you can look in the mag, and whatever ammunition is left inside is all you get to work with. This is to have the game focus, again, on melee combat and close quarters engagements, to keep the game intense and claustrophobic. Stupid fucks. When you get the jump on some addicts trying to break into a vending machine or from throwing up, you'll see them bolt for the nearest object to use as a weapon. Where the fuck did she pull that sign from? And you can do the same. If you find your gun without ammo or your current weapon destroyed, go find a pipe or a table leg and tear it off. This felt really unique and gave me the sense of being grounded. I felt like I was one of these junkies, scouring for whatever I could to defend myself with. I felt gritty and dirty. This also really amplified the atmosphere. Everything felt destroyed, fragile, like I was in a post-apocalyptic world where every inch of the city has been rummaged through and scavenged without a care in the world. Especially when you're seeing the horrific and brutal crime scenes, you always have a feel of uneasiness, unreliability. Like every corner you take holds something more and more treacherous. Eventually, you'll get so deep into the heart of the city where the addicts there are so bad that they're borderline zombies, and this really caught me off guard. I didn't expect to see pipe-wielding and parrying zombies in this game. There are zombies, dude. That's not a person. And I still don't know how to feel about them. They feel kind of out of place, especially with how they crawl around and then stand up and run around exactly like the normal druggies, but I don't know. Limited assets, I guess. What am I even witnessing right now, bro?
Waiting for you. Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Even the police officers walk like this. Even the police run like them. It's so fucking stupid. Oh yeah, and one thing I gotta point out, when you're in combat and you get an enemy weak, you can deal the final blow with a finisher. What the fuck? They're just executions? What the fuck? Okay. I'm supposed to be a police officer, right? I don't know why you can Mortal Kombat these junkies, but it's pretty cool, I guess. But I thought I was an FD agent, so I don't know why I'm allowed the option to snap their neck. Like, slam them, punch them, whatever. But headbutting and snapping necks? I don't know what police academy this man went to, but sign me up. I think the reason for this is to show how down and dirty we become. Being down there so long with these junkies, being treated as a murderer for something that we haven't done, and being hunted by the police, staying underground in these sewers, fighting for our lives. It's every man for themselves in this environment, and we'll do whatever we have to in order to survive. Speaking of all these environments, just look at that lighting. It's beautiful, right? It really is, until it isn't. This leads me to the negatives. And yes, I know, the positive list was pretty short, but like I said, not all these negatives were inherently awful. To start off, your character runs like he has shit in his ass. That's sprinting? It feels like I'm trying to run to the toilet when I have a huge dookie slipping out from between my butt cheeks, and has the stamina of the shit itself. This fucker gets out of breath within 3 seconds and needs 48 breaths to get back to full stamina. This guy has the worst balance I've ever seen in any human being before. If you walk over a plank or a traffic cone, garbage mounds on the floor, your character trudges through it like he's walking through water that's up to his thighs. Dude, I want to fucking run, but my character keeps tripping on every fucking object a millimeter high that's on the floor. So I literally can't fucking walk half the time. See, like, I'm just getting slowed down. Just run, you fucking pussy. Holy shit, it's so annoying. So what is slowing me down right here? Jack shit is.
Patrol cars are on route.
See, I'm getting slowed down on nothing. What is slowing me down right here? Literally, is it this fucking rebound bar? That's fucking stupid. He's constantly getting slowed down to a snail's pace, which is a fucking drag when in a combat encounter or just trying to explore the map. Dude, there's a fucking traffic cone on the floor, which puts my character to a slug's pace, and I died because of it. This is horrible. With all this weighted and grudgy movement, taking one detour to explore takes 4 fucking hours, let alone trying to close the distance on an enemy with a gun. Good luck with that. The fighting for the most part felt good, but there were many times where I was just flat out getting frustrated. Each weapon has their own stats like damage, reach, and block, but the blocking stat just means how long your parry frames are for. So some weapons like the fire axe hit hard, but are slow and have a smaller parry timing. But the parrying never made any sense. It felt so inconsistent. I would try to parry super early, super late, right before the attack would hit me. I could just never get it to be consistent. And I've played a lot of games with parry mechanics. So for most of the game, I would just use movement to fight, and I barely blocked, which was fine. I had no problem with doing that. I just felt like the blocking didn't make any sense. Also, you attack depending on which direction you're moving, and I found this out when I had like 2 hours left of the game, so that's pretty cool. The game literally never tells you about any of this. It just says swing and block. Doesn't explain how the blocking works or the fact that moving backwards and attacking is a heavy attack. It just felt so random. Enemies can feint their attacks, which really didn't do anything to the game. If anything, all it did was slow down the fighting or get the enemies killed. It was really funny though, because when an enemy feints, they swear, and this one enemy feinted like 8 times in a row, and all he just kept swearing over and over again. Dude. Are you fucking kidding me? The lighting in the game was pretty damn good until moments where Ethan had his visions or when objects like doors were broken. At those moments, the screen was so fucking bright that I had to squint like I was staring into the sun. Why is it so white when I break a door? It's like literally fucking blinding me. It's crazy. And yeah, the visions, I don't know, apparently Ethan has the ability to see events that happened in the past or events that will happen, but none of them made any sense. There were real junkies and then fake imaginary junkies, or I would just see someone running at me and then disappear. It was incredibly random and underwhelming. Also, there were some points where the visions would show me where I needed to go, but the path was already really obvious, or sometimes even misleading. Like this one time where a blood trail led right to a cabinet, and then I had visions right after seeing the cabinet, showing me that someone blocked a hole with the cabinet. But I already fucking figured it out because the trail led right to it. So it was literally pointless. I think even without that vision, that really loud vision, I think I could have followed that trail in the back of here. Yeah, maybe. There was another time where I had a vision of someone using a crowbar to break a hole in the wall. I looked all around the room on the walls looking for like a crack or a missing brick, and nothing happened. It had nothing to do with the wall. It had the fact to do with the crowbar where it had dust on the end of it. And apparently that dust had to do with the mannequin dust. But I thought he just used that fucking end of the crowbar on concrete bricks. What? The level design was pretty okay, I guess. The game slightly encourages you to explore for collectibles like dead crows and pieces of metal, and to go out of your way to find the very limited and scarce guns. Both how terrible the movement was and stamina were in the game, it just genuinely wasn't worth running down one extra hallway to find something and half the time have it be a dead end. This game is textbook defined as a survival horror, and this game was not scary at all. It wasn't even really atmospheric. I guess it was, but nothing put any sense of fear into me. You get used to the game so quickly and learn how the AI is so fast that there's literally nothing to be scared of. The game is so obvious that I would start randomly preemptively swinging around corners and kill guys before I even saw them. It felt like a brawler half the time. There was no sense of intimidation. I didn't have any fear of going into fights. I would just destroy everyone, and I felt like I was playing that Streets Brawler game where I would just go around and just beat them up. There were a couple jump scares in the game, and 2 of them which got me.
Can you take a close-up?
Help me.
And I'm not a big fan of when games only rely on jump scares as their only source of horror, but this game did jump scares pretty well. They didn't shove them down your throat, and they were so scarce that they actually worked. The story was just uninteresting, and the gameplay just got very repetitive. It did feel really good, but I can only use the same 3 weapons over and over again for so long. The concept of using your environment is really interesting, and I haven't really seen a game approach the concept like Condemned did, but the game didn't feel like a survival horror with how limited the fighting was. We would fight the same few enemy models, all with the exact same animations, even though the animations are really cool, I like it. While everyone used the exact same weapons for the entire game, and like I said, even the fucking cops walked like junkies. I think they could have approached this grounded and visceral melee fighting concept a bit better if they let the player craft weapons or scavenge items from around the world and make makeshift weapons from those resources, and giving some sense of survival horror. Because at the end of the day, we were really only inclined to use the best weapon available to you since it was such a small variety of weapons, and the best weapon was basically a small pipe or a wooden board, as they would just stun lock every single enemy you came in contact with. For me, I focused on the heavy weapons like sledgehammers or fire axes, and I just 1 or 2 shot at everyone else until I got towards the end of the game where all the enemies were bigger brutes and the game only gave you planks to fight with, so everything was just spamming left click 87 times until they died. Not to mention the taser you have, which borderline literally trivializes every single one-on-one fight you have. You just stun lock them and just kill them. That's literally it. And speaking of the end of the game was just a fighting simulator while walking through empty fields up slow-ass mountains. Remember how I said that stepping over any object at all makes your character walk at a snail's pace? This happened on the hills in this long-ass open-ass area. This part just fucking dragged. You would walk for ages, spam left click and stun lock an enemy for a minute until they died, and do it over again. And the final boss was just another spam fest, because you can literally just stun lock him with a stick. And after stunning him, you need to wait for him to do his animation so you can do a finisher move on him, which is to tear metal pieces out of his body. But I didn't know this because I was stun locking him so fucking hard that I didn't even allow him to go into his animation of falling on the floor. I was just beating the shit out of him. It was pointless. So the whole ending was just janky as fuck. The story was bad and the final boss was horrible. After killing him, we were riding home with the uncle, but we found out that he kept his nephew alive in order to help him. So I demand him to stop the car, and we get out, and I have the choice of getting revenge or having compassion. But both of these choices suck because I do want to kill him, but if I kill him, that makes me look worse, and the uncle might just kill me. And I want to keep him alive to prove my innocence, not keep him alive for compassion. So what do? I just decided to not kill him, and apparently he still has a gun in his fucking pocket. So he gets out of his restraints and shoots himself. Why the fuck did the uncle not time up properly and leave a gun on his person? What the fuck? Whatever, we clear our name, we talk to Rosa, but for some reason she's still wired when talking to me, even though my name's clear. And then we shit out of our mouths, and now we've become the monster. The game, it was just so poorly written. It was a decent plot that was horribly written. Also, just a little extra thing, I barely remember any of the music in this game. To be honest, I don't even know if the game had music besides the banger pause menu, which that was actually kind of fire. That shit kind of goes hard. So that's another reason why the atmosphere was just pretty eh. I know a lot of people rash on the voice acting, but I'm not going to do that because the game had a total of 5 voice actors, so I'm pretty impressed on how diverse all the characters sounded for the limited cast they had. The voice actor of like the original cop plays like 5 characters, and I didn't notice that at all. So I don't really understand the praise this game is getting besides the atmosphere and combat for the first few hours. But after the second hour, the rest of the game just literally dragged. If I wasn't making a video on this game, I would have definitely refunded it. But I can still see how this game can definitely be fondly remembered by some people. And to those people, I say don't replay this game, just keep it in the nostalgia box and remember it that way. This thing is fucking flying. Oh my god. Did it have to physically take me all the way? Can I have just like teleported me here or something? Holy shit, am I hitting him with a fucking balloon? This is so janky. I feel there's supposed to be audio, but there isn't. Whoa. Dude, what is going on, man? I spent like 15 bucks on this. I don't even know what to say.